Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Steezus, and I am here with
Jamie Foy.
And we are in beautiful Simi Valley, California at ABD Collectibles. And we got your trucks from Hollywood High 16 Fakie 50.
Yep.
And we are about to melt these joints down, turn them into coins, and put them into limited edition cards for the man, the myth, the legend, Jamie Foy. Make coins out of these bitches.
Yeah, hey, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Now, quick disclaimer. Jamie is a professional. When you're a professional in one area of life, it transfers over to another. So, do we know what we're doing? No. Are we trained professionals? Half of us, yes.
Just sit back and enjoy the show.
So you get in there.
Ooh. Yeah, she definitely gassed up.
Yeah, but y'all hear that? She roaring, baby. She roaring.
Sounds like a jet plane. That's sick. All right.
Here, you crank down these trucks.
All right, yeah. We'll
you got your tool with
right
switchback sides. I want to ask you a few questions.
Yep.
Because my thing when it comes to tricks like this is the psychology behind it all.
I mean, obviously, Hollywood 16 is like one of the most legendary spots,
Iconic.
Especially growing up, like watching all the, like Andrew skating it a bunch,
Yep.
Lizard getting the front nose, like all these crazy legendary tricks going down. Obviously, I wanted to like try to get my mark on it. So kind of even before I moved to California, I like had an idea where I was like, man, if I ever could like get myself to try it, that would be a trick that no one's done that I would love to like get under my belt, like Fakie 50 on the 16.
So it was one of those like bucket list tricks for you.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was definitely a bucket list trick for me. And it was funny because one of the first times I came to California with some of my friends, I Fakie 50'd the 12. Years go by, I'm like, man, I really want to get on the 16, and I'm pro now, and I'm like, it's something I really want to get done.
Yeah, paint the picture. So
yeah.
Going into the day, you pull up to the spot, getting everything set up. What's the day looking like?
It took technically 2 days because the first day we went there around like 11 noon, and I don't know if a lot of people know, but like about 3-4 years ago, they repainted the roll up to Hollywood, and it's like when it's hot out, it's soft. It's kind of like a roof material. And it's a little grippy, like in the sense of you're slowing down. I'm like, this is weird. So the first day I got there, it was like noon. I'm rolling up to it, and I'm like, nah, like the ground's all slow. Like this feels scary. I don't want to deal with any extra things like that. I think I got to come back earlier, and I don't like waking up early. So that was the number one thing is like, I'm not a big fan of waking up early. And in the morning, I'm like one of those people where at night, I'm like, oh, tomorrow, let's go do it. Yeah. And then I wake up, I'm just like, why did I say that? Oh no. So I just like
There's consequences to your
exactly.
actions.
I'm all hyped up at night. So like I'm like, let's go do it. And then I woke up. Thankfully in the morning it's still a little cool. And I was warming up, which was so hard for me. I was like, man, I gotta skate this big ass rail at 8 in the morning. Like it's crazy. But thankfully like the ground was good. We got there. I'm just warming up on it. And I was like, all right, like it's now or never. Like we got all my friends there. That's kind of like, I like having a good crew there just because of like the support system you have. Like rolling up, I'm like, I'm scared. I don't think I can do it. But then I have all these people around me, all my friends, shouting the things that like you need to hear, and I'll just be at the top. I'm like, all right, I gotta try it 100% right here for all my homies that came out. Like everyone's here to help me get this. And once we get this clip, like it's just gonna be the best celebration.
It's the best.
Bro, I didn't think I was gonna try it. I was so scared. And that day, like I'm rolling up to the spot over and over. And for me, I kind of like just trying it within the first like 5-10 minutes. That way you don't build it up in your head. It's hard, but you're just like, all right, I gotta pull the trigger and just pop. That time I was rolling up for like 15-20 minutes. And I'm like, so scared. I'm like, I don't think I can, like I'm rolling up Fakie, not a whole lot of run up. It's a good amount, but not a whole bunch. And I like a lot of run up to roll up Fakie. It makes it a lot easier. But in this case, it was like a little short. I kept jumping off my board right before the rail. I run and I jump at the rail and I just like scream as to the top of my lungs. It in my mind felt like I wasn't gonna be able to do it. And then I'm just like standing at the top, like I'm not walking down there. Like, I'm gonna jump. If I don't pop my tail, I'm just jumping my body down the stairs because I'm not walking down these stairs. Like I don't deserve that. So finally one try, the first try was terrible. Just no pop, like flail down the set, 1 foot on the rail. Just barely squeak my feet past the last stair, and I was literally like, well, that's kind of worst case.
That's the worst that could happen right there.
Whereas like, that's what I was scared of, is like, what's gonna happen if I don't pop?
Exactly.
And that's what happened the first try. So once that happened, I was like, all right, I'm good. And obviously adrenaline kicked up. I just grabbed my board, ran to the top. I was like, all right, I did that. I could do it again and again and again. Second try, I popped, touched, jumped over. And it's funny because usually I don't even like to test that trick. Usually I just like, since I do it all the time.
Because it's in your,
I do it all the time. I'm just like, one, done, like one, just get it over with. And then that one, I was just like testing it. And then finally in my head, I was like, no more tests. I just have to start trying to land it. And then I landed it like fifth 5th try or something, 6th try, just like.
That's so sick.
But for me, I was like, man, I in my mind I wanted it to be 1st to 2nd try just because my body.
Yeah.
But like the next day I was sore, really sore, jumping down those stairs.
Down to 16 that many times. The thing that I noticed though is you were kind of on your tippy toes a little bit on the Fakie 5. Is that how you typically get into it, or do you like to have more of your, like the ball of your foot on it?
When I Fakie 5-0, I'm like leaning on my toes because I'm like pressing down on my heel to like grab it. And also, like with that one, it was more of a don't be in the middle, because usually I'm just on top.
Right, that's
of
what
it.
I was thinking.
Usually I'm just on top, like not worried about it.
Yeah.
But something like that, I'm just like I can't even get my weight to do that right now. I just gotta like. That's why I think I like in my clip I really popped out because I was just like Fakie.
Yeah, exactly.
Was so far over, and I had to like get
Yank it back
there.
over. Yeah.
So it just like happened to work out that way. But I mean, I'm just stoked it worked out.
Now let me ask you: are you sentimental? Because obviously these are the trucks that you use. Are you the type to like write the dates on a board or a monumental moment? Do you have that type of connection with it, or is it just you keep things and you move on?
It kind of just depends on what it is. These trucks were really sentimental to me just because that Deathwish part was like my first.
Yeah.
That was my first part with Deathwish as a whole video. Like it was the like Uncrossed was our video. I've had Deathwish single parts on Thrasher.
Yeah.
But that's cool and all.
To
I
be
love
a
that.
part of that
but
full
to
length.
be a part of a full length with that team, and they made me really feel part of the family at that. Like that was my like. I knew I was pro for them already and everything, but that was like my like solidifying my relationship with them in my mind, because that's like some the people I always grew up watching and stuff. So just to be a part of it, and I mean I got like majority of my tricks done with these trucks.
If you can remember, what are some of the other tricks, maybe from Uncrossed or before that you were rocking these trucks with? Yeah,
because I was skating these for probably about 6 months, and that video took like a little longer than like almost a year to film.
For sure.
I also front crooked the long green rail with these. Because like I've seen right here, there's a piece of like some
a little green paint on there. Yeah,
like I don't know, and right here too, there's some green paint. A good 75% of my part has these trucks in them,
incredible.
which is pretty sick.
That's a lot of history right there.
Nah, I know. I'm stoked to melt them down and like get the people a piece of it. Like I think that's so cool that they're gonna have a tangible product of skating, which is sick. It's something we never had. So
I mean, let's get to it then. We got my questions out of the way, bro. I want to see how this thing works.
Yeah, I think we just gonna drop her in the middle, right?
Yep.
They're ready. Axle nuts and everything.
Everything.
All right. They'll be the bones of it all.
Trade me size. Yeah. There
Trade
you go.
size. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I felt like this would be a little bit more.
A little
more.
more.
Sparks. There we go. Okay. Once we turn it up, it'll start cooking. This is dope. We'll have to show the camera that, dude. Authentic skated truck.
Yeah. Once all this gets smoldered down, get the ladle in, come out, and drop it in the mold. And we did a couple of test runs, and they looked really good. So I can't wait to have you guys check them out and see the product.
This is for all of y'all.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Like a pro. Told you he was professional.
Come on.
It transfers over. Yo. All right.
Go.
Get your little ladle.
Metal.
Boom. Dump her in. My man's just precise.
My dad, he like an engineer, and he had a jar of mercury growing up.
Mercury, yep.
Thermostats used to have mercury, and then he had to go take them out of all his people that he worked for, had them in there.
Over
so he
the
had
years
to take them out, and it's just a jar like this big of mercury, and I used to play with it when I was a kid. I was like, look at this jar of mercury, and all my friends are like, you shouldn't be playing with that stuff. I'm like, my dad says it's fine. Like, and it's just
Shout out to Florida.
It was so much fun. Like I was just like playing with mercury. You drop it, and it's just like a little like beads go everywhere. You had to like clean them up. Let's check it out now.
Let's peep it.
Let's like move this over.
Yeah, you get
switch
on that
back,
side. Yep, there we go. Go right back.
This thing is nice and warm since it's
Toasty.
cool out here. It's like 750 out here, so damn.
Whoa.
Damn, we got a couple locked in. Got a couple over here. I don't know if y'all can see these, but
we made coins out of this bitch.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Heard that. Now. Did you ever think in your time as a professional skateboarder that you would be melting down trucks, making authentic coins out of them, putting them in the cards, and celebrating a trick that you had on a very monumental spot?
Not at all. Especially because usually, like I said, like I don't really, sometimes I save stuff, but like I'll go give these to a kid or whatever.
Exactly.
But like,
and trucks too, like a lot of times you keep the bushings and just move them into a new set of trucks, and then it's just like whatever, these are mangled anyway.
Yep, exactly.
So this is a dope way to celebrate that, man.
I'm stoked. This is amazing. Authentic skated truck. Yes, sir.
Sick. One of you guys is gonna get this one, this exact one right here.
Yeah, one of these right here. I'm touching them. Look.
Touching them. made by Jamie himself. So all right, I gotta ask you, just out of curiosity, favorite trick done down to Hollywood 16?
Well, I mean, Corey Glick was like the first one to front crook it, and that was before I like could front crook rails. But as a kid growing up, one of my favorite tricks was Lizard's front nose.
Yep.
Just because it was like something you never saw in a circle rail, and the way he leveled
and
it.
He was on that.
Yeah, he leveled it. Like there was no he was in there. Like it was so perfect.
I got to shout out my boy Dominic Walker, kickflip frontside nose grind.
Damo, just like that's insane. That's something I'd be like, man, this thing's too low to flick into, and he did it as hard as you could.
Yeah.
Zion's half cab back Smith, dude.
Let's go.
That is one of my favorite tricks, just because it's something that when my friend told me he was gonna do it, I damn near laughed at him. I'm sorry, Zion. That's kind of something that fed me into it too, where I watched him half cab back Smith, and I was like, that's something that's insane. Like when he landed it, it was one of the most mind blowns I've ever been watching skating in person. And then that kind of fueled my fire, where it was like, he fucking did it. Like now I can go do my shit. Like I can do this. We gotta conquer this shit. So it's just like, feeding the fire, friend to friend, pushing it all together and making things happen.
You gotta make it happen. That's it.
That's what skating is,
That's
man.
what skating, that's all it is. You just make it happen.
Best part.
100%.
So we're gonna get roughly 300 of these made, but I mean, I'm stoked to be a part of this, especially after legends like fucking Mike Mo, P-Rod, fucking Tori, all these legends.
Tony Hawk.
All these people I grew up like watching and looking up to. And now I'm just like kind of a part of something that they were doing. So this is a dream of mine.
Hey man, no longer a legend in the making, a legend in the flesh.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Much love, man.
History in the making, Hollywood 16. You can get a piece of history yourself. ABD Collectibles. You don't want to sleep.
Yep.